Hello and welcome students. In this video I'm going to talk about the muscles of the posterior compartment of the leg. So before moving further, we just discussed the transverse section of the leg. Here you can see this is the transverse section of leg, in which you can see tibia, transverse section, fibula, and between them there is interosseous membrane intervening between them. Just anterior to these three structures here in light pink color, you can see these are the muscles of the anterior compartment of the leg. And in this blue here, these are the muscles of the lateral compartment of the leg. And this is lateral intermuscular septum. And behind these three structures, fibula, tibia, and interosseous membrane, this is whole posterior compartment of the leg. And posterior compartment of the leg is further divided into two parts: superficial muscles, this shown in this pink, and the deep muscles shown in this orange color. These muscle, the structure which is dividing them into two further groups is transverse intramuscular septum. As you can see here, these are the neurovascular bundle. Neurovascular bundle are the artery, vein, and nerve. They are present among the deep group of the posterior compartment of the leg muscle. Then we move further, and before that, let me introduce the muscles which we are going to discuss, and we are going to discuss only superficial group. This is gastrocnemius muscle, calf muscle, which are also called. Gastrocnemius muscle, they have got two heads, lateral head and medial head. This lateral and medial head of gastrocnemius muscle, they are basically forming the inferior lateral and inferior medial boundaries of the popliteal fossa. Popliteal fossa is this rhomboid shaped fossa just behind the knee joint. It has got superior lateral, superior medial, then inferior lateral and inferior medial boundaries. Inferior medial here and inferior lateral boundaries are basically being formed by the gastrocnemius muscle. So these gastrocnemius muscle has got two fusiform bellies, and these two bellies join together and they finally insert into a tendon, broad tendon, which is called tendocalcaneum. This tendocalcaneum, it is a quite broad tendon. This tendon further moves downward and is attached onto the calcaneum bone. Here you can see calcaneum bone. So now its origin of this muscle is, this is medial lateral condyle of the femur, this is medial condyle of the femur, and this is, here we have got lateral epicondyle and this is medial epicondyle. So lateral epicondyle here, just lateral epicondyle continues with the supracondylar line. So from supracondylar line, here gastrocnemius muscle lateral head, it's originating, whereas the medial head of gastrocnemius muscle, it is attached onto the or originating from the popliteal surface just above the medial condyle of the femur. Here we have already discussed its insertion into the tendocalcaneum. So when this gastrocnemius muscle, it would be removed, or part of it would be removed, so that you can see the underlying structure or underlying muscle. And this is, here gastrocnemius muscle has been removed. Lateral head and medial head. Lateral head and medial head, a big portion of this muscle has been cut and removed, so you can see the underlying structures. And underlying structure, the most important structure is this soleus muscle. Soleus muscle and plantaris muscle, this small plantaris muscle. So these are the three muscles which are muscles of superficial group. This soleus muscle is attached, it originates in the form of tendinous arch, and there is a gap or deficiency in this tendinous arch through which neurovascular structures, which are posterior tibial artery, tibial vein, and tibial nerve, they cross this tendinous arch and move between the soleus muscle and the deep group of muscles. Okay, this tendinous arch. Now we are going to learn about the origin of this soleus muscle. As I told you, this soleus muscle originates in the form of tendinous arch in the form of a V alphabet, English alphabet. So here you can see this is the head of the fibula, from the posterior surface of the head of the fibula. Then here we have got shaft, posterior surface of the shaft of the fibula, upper part of the shaft of the fibula from here, and then soleal line. Soleal line is a ridge which crosses the upper part of the posterior surface of the tibia obliquely, and then medial border of the tibia. So it has got origin from the posterior surface of the head of the fibula, posterior surface of the upper shaft of the fibula, then soleal line, then medial border. And what about its insertion? Insertion is, here you can see this muscle along with the gastrocnemius muscle. Both of these muscles, they insert into the tendocalcaneum. So actually these are two muscles, but because of two heads of the gastrocnemius, they have been considered as three. And they three fleshy muscular bellies, they insert into this tendocalcaneum. This is the reason these muscles are called tricepsuri muscles. So in examination you can be asked what are the tricepsuri muscles, what about their origin, insertion, nerve supply, action, and all those things. And then there is another small muscle which is called plantaris. As you can see, plantaris is a small muscle. It attached onto the or inserted or it's originated from the uppermost part of the supracondylar line. Here supracondylar line or supracondylar line, you can say so. And then this muscle has small belly, and till the inferior border of the popliteus muscle. Then it has got long tendon. Sometimes this tendon is very thin and long that it resembles a nerve even. This resembles nerve. So here we can see this tendon. It also joins this tendocalcaneum. So actually what tendocalcaneum does, tendocalcaneum pulls this calcaneum upward. As a result, foot or toe, it moves downward. So it helps in the plantar flexion. These three muscles. And why this tendocalcaneum has got another name which is called Achilles tendon, because Achilles was a fighter who was dipped by his mother in a holy water Styx, but she was holding from the foot, and this foot remained outside, and while his body was whole sank into the water, or it was wet, and his foot remained dry. So when he became it's a legendary myth, when he became adult as a fighter, so he was hit by an arrow on the same foot in the same area which was left dry, because it couldn't be dipped into the water. So here we have got sole fish. Because of this shape of this fish, the soleus muscle has been named. And there is another diagram which I want to show you. That's why I'm just moving forward. This is tendinous arch, and here we have of soleus muscle from soleal line, posterior surface of the head of the fibula, and upper part of the posterior surface of the shaft of the fibula. And this is the opening or gap in the tendinous arch through which this tibial nerve and popliteal artery crosses. Popliteal artery till the inferior border of the popliteus muscle. Here it is popliteal artery. As soon as artery vessel crosses this popliteal inferior border of the popliteus, it becomes tibial posterior tibial artery and anterior tibial artery. So for neurovascular bundles, I'm going to do another video So in this video we just talked about the superficial group of muscles, which are gastrocnemius, soleus and plantaris, and the rest of the muscles we would be definitely doing in next video. Thank you very much for your patience.